evening, and thank you, Vidya, for the warm words of introduction. And thank you, Counselling Chennai, for the opportunity provided to share my expertise on this platform. And to all those young psychologists out there, I trust that this session on time management will help you on your journey, both in your career and personal life. So, before we begin, I would like to share my screen now. So before we begin, we will take a few minutes to introspect how we are managing our time. So there are 10 statements here. The 10 statements here. So you have to answer yes or no for these statements. So how best are we managing our time? So for all the even numbered statements, odd numbered statements, 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. If your answer is yes, you will give 1 point. And to all the even numbered statements, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10, if your answer is no, you will give 1 point. Okay, let's see our scores now. The result. If you have got a score of 1 to 2, you are on the top, you manage your time very well, but it still needs a lot of improvement. 3 and 4, you are okay with your time management. 5 to 7, managing time well is a problem for you. If your score is 8 to 10, you have a very poor management skill. So, this exercise is just to assess, self-assess how well we are managing our time. So, it is not time which needs to be managed, it is ourselves. The term time management is a misnomer. You cannot manage time. You manage the events in your life in relation to time. You may often wish for more time, but you only get 24 hours, 1,440 minutes or 86,400 seconds each day. How you use this time depends upon the skills learned through self-analysis, planning, evaluation and self-control. So moving on to what is effective time management. Effective time management is the effective use of your time that allows you to plan your days in such a way that you finish your work with less effort and make the most of the limited time you have got. So moving on to what are the benefits of time management, or why is time management important? Knowing how to manage your time properly is important, and it brings a number of great benefits to your work routine and life overall. It helps you achieve what you want and faster. When you understand the importance of time management, you gain the motivation to stop sitting around and pursue your goals. As a result of this hard work and motivation, you reach your goals faster. It helps you get more done, but in less time. When you properly manage time, you get more done, but also save time for your activities you truly enjoy. It helps you to waste less time and avoid more friction and problems. Properly managing time includes making a to-do list, allotting time to each item from your to-do list, and then scheduling those tasks on your calendar. By doing so, you will no longer be indecisive about what you have to do next and whether you have to finish everything you need to. The next thing is, it helps you to clear your schedule for more leisure time and feel more energized. Considering that proper time management helps you finish your work faster, you will find that you have more free time as a consequence. More free time will mean you have more time to spend with your family, practice a hobby, or even go on a trip. It helps you fulfill more tasks in less time and in turn feel more fulfilled. When you properly manage time, you will enjoy the feeling of success a completely to-do list brings. You will see how you can live up to your expectations and in turn feel a boost of self-confidence about your ability. It helps you feel calmer and less stressed over time. When you properly manage time, you don't have to worry about missing deadlines or forgetting tasks because you've already planned your time in such a way that it prevents such mishaps from happening. As a result, you will feel less stressed about your workload and more calm about the end result. And finally, it helps you make a change in your lifestyle for the better. Proper time management makes sure you spend less time, but you become more productive. You'll be able to single out your priorities and schedule your time in such a way that you manage to complete your assignment and still find time to play your favorite sport. So, how to stop wasting time? As time is a limited resource in our life, you cannot afford to waste time. Instead, you need to find out what you need to do, and more importantly, make sure you do it as soon as possible. But before you can stop wasting time, you first need to understand why you are wasting time in the first place. Are you afraid of failure? If you find that you are, ask yourself, why are you afraid of failure? Some people fear they won't be able to recover from their failures and continue with their lives as they once did. Other people fear the opinion of others and what others will think if they pursue a goal and fail to reach it. To overcome such fears, you first need to understand that failure is one of the two possible normal outcomes of your effort, with both being equally likely. And more often than that, neither is really under your control. Sometimes you will succeed because of luck, despite not trying too hard. Other times you will fail due to unfortunate circumstances, despite your best efforts. In the end, the only thing you can do is to make the most of your time and try your best, work hard to enjoy your successes and learn from your failures. As for the opinion of others, remember that the only opinion that needs to matter to you is your own. After all, in the end, you will be the one who has to live with your choices and the outcome of your actions. And you are most likely to be more satisfied if you are the one responsible for them. Once you are liberated yourself from the pressures of success and failure and the opinion of others, you can stop wasting time and start building up your life by using time wisely. So, going on to the main topic, how to use time wisely. Once you have done away with wasting time, instead of driving into action, you will want to learn how to use it wisely by using the right time management skills and techniques of time management. Each of these elements, which we will discuss now, are important and will help you save time and improve your life in the process. So the first one, be self-aware. Self-awareness represents the foundation of all the other skills that we know. Without being self-aware of our current strengths and weaknesses, you will never be able to assess and improve your other skills. Also, perhaps even more importantly, unless you are aware of what you want to achieve, you won't be able to plan the steps that will lead you to your goals. Keep a journal. Write down your thoughts, dreams, and goals over time. Write down your strengths and weaknesses. Think about how to lessen your weaknesses or turn them into strengths, and how to make the most of your strengths. Set your goals. Once you have made yourself aware of what you want, turn your wants into concrete goals. If you know exactly what you want, where you want to go, it will be much easier to understand how you can best get there. This is where the previously mentioned journal can come in handy. Run through what you have written so far and define your goals. If you were honest about your dreams in your journal, you will be able to identify your goals. Keep your goals to yourself. Okay, the next one. You may think keeping your goals to yourself is counterproductive. After all, isn't it a common saying that if you want your dreams to come true, you have to share it with someone? But it's exactly the opposite of that. According to Derek Sivers and several studies, people who declare their goals to the world are statistically less likely to reach the set goals. This is tied to the fact that people pursue goals because of the satisfaction they feel when they reach them. And people who announce what their goals are already feel the satisfaction, which renders actually reaching their goals unnecessary. So next time you feel the urge to tell someone your dreams, your goals and aspirations, simply don't. This might not seem like a logical time management technique, but statistically, it is an effective one. Self-motivate yourself. Once you have made yourself aware of your wants and sorted out your goals, the next step is to motivate yourself to pursue those goals. After all, if you don't believe that you are capable of achieving your goals, how will you ever achieve them? Think positively about reaching your goals. Define an award that will await you at the end of your journey, and remember to believe in yourself. Make plans. If your goals are the final destination you are trying to reach with the help of proper time management, then planning is the first active step on that journey. In order to, unless you make a plan, you're more likely to lose your way, and thus more likely to fail with the plan you have made. So with plans, you'll know what you need to achieve and when. So in order to make your plans, you have to assess your goals once again, list the tasks and actions, and then you will have to reach out to your goals and do away with anything that you believe will be a distraction. Make decisions. Unless you make up your mind about the road you want to take, you will hardly ever make it past the intersection. But as waiting around and procrastinating gets you nowhere, it's best that you work up the courage and make a choice. If you manage your time properly, you won't feel as pressured for time, and you won't feel as pressured when making decisions. So you will make better decisions with your life on a whole. This is a tough one because especially if you like to take your time before making decisions, and if you are often unsure of what to do next, this is really a tough decision. But this is where the plan you have mapped out earlier can help you. If you are unsure what decision to make, ask yourself, what's the very first step I need to take that will get me to the next point in my plan? Question your choices. So you have made some decisions on the road to your goal, but are you always sure that they are the right choices or the right decisions? After all, the wrong decision you take may turn you away from your goal and make you lose precious time. Simply ask yourself, is this decision in line with my goals? What are the risks? Do the benefits of this decision higher than the risk? How committed am I to my choice? In the end, unless you like the answers, don't move on with what you have previously set in your mind. You will save yourself a lot of time than spending time mending the consequences of your wrong decision or your wrong choices. Prioritize and organize. Unless you focus on your task, you would not be able to tell which of these tasks are urgent and important for you to reach your goals. There are several prioritization methods around, so you can make your own pick. The Eisenhower matrix is one solution that lets you distinguish the important from the urgent. Focus. Once you have prioritized and organized what's really important, the next step is to focus on your priorities. If you have let your mind wander off to other less important actions, you will hardly ever finish what you have started. When at work, close all tabs in your browser except the one you are currently working on. Turn off your smartphones and focus all your attention on your work. Or depending upon your current priorities, turn off your laptop and focus your attention on something. If you do one thing at a time to the fullest, you will be able to say you have spent your time well. Okay, the very important one, manage your stress. Time management and stress management are intertwined. When you have control of your time, you feel less stressed. And less stress helps you lead a healthier, more relaxed life. When you reduce your stress levels, you will feel more capable of tackling your problems in life faster and save more time in the process. Be patient. In these frantic times when you are encouraged to be prompt and bold, patience is rarely considered a virtue. Just as procrastination with making decisions makes you lose time, trying to race across the finish line as quick as you can cause you to take the wrong decision or make the wrong decision. By being patient from time to time, you will make your commitment to success clear and decrease the chance of making mistakes along the way. Cope with problems and challenges. Problems and challenges stand in the way of a clean road to your goals. So unless you overcome them, you will not be able to move on. And if you try to bypass them without tackling them, then in your road to success, you will strip somewhere further on down the road. So there is a solution to every problem, and leave no stone unturned when looking for solution to your problems. Assess your problem from every angle. Call your friends and family for help. Deal with your problem as quickly as possible. And finally, collaborate and communicate. You may have more control if you do something by yourself, but that doesn't mean that you can or even that you should do everything by yourself. Communicating and collaborating with peers and colleagues help you to do more in less time because there's more of you doing it. If you have a problem you cannot solve on your own, call for help. Be direct, use simple words, and aim to communicate why something is important to you. Sometimes you have to turn to others to help you lead a better life. To summarize, I would like to close with the analogy of the rock, pebbles, and sand. This story appears in many forms. The original source is unknown. So I will go on to the story. There once was a philosophy professor who was giving a lecture. In front of him, he had a big glass jar, a pile of rocks, a bag of small pebbles, a tub of sand, and a bottle of water. He started off by filling up the jar with the big rocks, and when they had reached the rim of the jar, he held it up to the students and asked them if the jar was full. They all agreed. There was no more room to put the rocks in. It was full. Okay. He then picked up the bag of small pebbles and poured them into the jar. He shook the jar so that the pebbles filled the spaces around the rocks. Is the jar full now? He asked. The group of students all looked at each other and agreed that the jar was now completely full. The professor then picked up the tub of sand. He poured the sand in between the pebbles and the rocks, and once again he held up the jar to his class and asked if it was full. Once again the students agreed that the jar was full. Are you sure it is full? He asked. He finally picked up the bottle of water and tipped the water into the jar until it soaked up all the remaining space in the sand. The students laughed. The professor went on to explain that the jar of rocks, pebbles, sand, and water represents the important things of our life. He said, the jar represents your life, the rock represents the most important things that have real value, your health and your family. Those things that if anything else was lost and only they remained, your life would still have meaning. The pebbles represent the things in your life that matter, but that you should live without. The pebbles are certainly things that give your life meaning, such as your job, your house, your hobbies, and friendship. But they are not critical for you to have a meaningful life. These things often come and go and are not permanent or essential to your overall well-being. The sand and water represent everything. The small stuff, the material possession, your chores, and filler things such as watching television or browsing social media sites. These things don't mean much to your life as a whole and are likely only done to get small tasks accomplished or even to fill time. The metaphor here is that if you start with putting sand into the jar, you will not have room for the rocks or the pebbles. This holds true with the things you let into your life. If you spend your time on the small and insignificant things, you will run out of room for the things that are actually important. Take care of the rocks first, the things that really matter and are critical to your long-term well-being and happiness. If you deal with the big issues first by putting the rocks in the jar first, the smaller issues can still fall into place. However, the reverse is not possible and it will not be true at all. So finally, I would like to close with a quote by Paul J. Mayer. Productivity is never an accident. It is always the result of a commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. And remember, your future is created by what you do today and not tomorrow. Thank you.